2 lanes to turn left onto Manowar Boulevard East.
Okay, so I have been in Lexington, Kentucky for, I don't know, I think I got here Wednesday night. So I've been here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do around, but I heard that there was an arboretum in the University of Kentucky. So I was like, okay, well, it's an arboretum, it's 100 acres, that's going to be like a nice nature reserve, you know, go check that out. And it was wonderful. They had a vegetable garden, they had grapevines, they had apple trees, I mean, they had blackberries, they had blueberries, they had strawberries, they had absolutely everything that you could possibly ever want. So I then was like finishing up the park. I saw 2 younger people, and I went up to them and I was like, hey, are there any, you know, like left bars or anarchist bookstores or like, you know, socialist gathering spots or so forth? And we started to chat a little bit, and they told me, you know, not really, but you can, you know, you could go to this place, the Gray Line Terminal, or you could go to another place called Marika's. Marika's ended up being the place that I went to. So Marika's is a German beer bar, but it has 6 beach volleyball courts. So I ended up going there Thursday night, playing beach volleyball for like a couple of hours. Ended up being just like a really awesome, wonderful experience. Met more people, learned more about farms around the area, and went to bed. Next day, get up, wanted to go see Farmer Jesse's. You all can still hear me, right? If somebody can still hear me, type anything. Wanted to go visit...
Continue on Manowar Boulevard East for 1.5 miles.
Yes, good. Wanted to go visit Rough Draft Farmstead by Farmer Jesse. I have to listen for a second. Sorry. Where am I going? East still? Okay. Wanted to go visit Rough Draft Farmstead. And I drove out there. It was about an hour drive. I didn't schedule an appointment or anything. Thank you for saying anything. I didn't schedule an appointment. I just kind of rocked up on the farm. It seemed like they were having a busy week. And so, oh shit, actually, reverse some steps here. The people that I was speaking with at the Arboretum, one was 20, one was 21, and we were talking about like news and politics and stuff and so forth, and I said I was in DC covering Julian Assange, and they're like, oh, I don't know who Julian Assange was, and I'm like, okay, like, have you heard of WikiLeaks before? And they're like, no, we hadn't heard of WikiLeaks. And then I said, okay, do you know who like Reality Winner or Chelsea Manning are? And they're like, no, we don't know who they are. And then I was like, well, do you know who Edward Snowden is? And they said, no, we don't know who Edward Snowden is. And so we had a really good talk. They were intelligent people. They were informed people. They were like good in their fields and so forth. But it was a bit concerning to me that people of that age didn't know who Assange or Snowden or some of these people were. And I wanted to tell that story because like these were intelligent college students that just didn't know, you know, Assange and so forth. Anyway, Farmer Jesse's couldn't actually go onto the farm just because things that they had happening and so forth. So, you know, it didn't work out, but I think I'm rescheduling, and I may, oh yeah, Garden Plaza. Yeah, everything went, like, it was a great talk. You know, it was a really great talk. So I'm trying to rebook with Farmer Jesse's. Okay, so now Lexington, Kentucky is about to really get good. So I went on Yelp, and I thought about just going back to the volleyball bar again and just going to have, you know, a good time and playing volleyball. But I was like, you know what? Why go back to like the same place? You know, you can go somewhere else. You can find a different vibe. So I typed in, the story's about to get really good and really wholesome and very heartwarming.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Winchester Road.
I think it's going to get nice. So I went on Yelp and I typed in best bars in Lexington, and a bar came up called the Chevy Chase Inn. It says that it's the oldest bar in Lexington. It's about like 83 years old, 88 years old or something like this. And I was like, all right, you know what? What the hell?
Take the next right onto Winchester Road.
We're going to go for it. So punched into the GPS how to get to the Chevy Chase Inn. Couldn't really find too much parking, so you know,
Continue on Winchester Road for 1 mile.
1 mile. Thankfully, there was a Kroger nearby, so I was like, okay, you know, Kroger is a good enough place to park. So parked at the Kroger. On my walk over, I don't know if I made eye contact with this guy or what kind of happened, but there was a guy sitting down. He had just got some beers for himself. And I said hello to him. He said hello to me. We started chatting for a little bit back and forth. It ended up, he was a big person in advertising and ran like big advertising campaigns, you know, using movie stars and celebrities and so forth in New York City, multiple decades. Like, saw some of his work, really understands about production and audio quality and video and so forth. So I'm just sitting on the sidewalk with a Kentuckian drinking Natty Ice. I-70 North. That's what it said, right? I-70 North. He told me about this brewery called like the 6th something brewery. I'm not entirely sure what it was called. Right lane north, okay. And he
Use
said
the right lane
next
to
door,
take the I-75 North ramp.
next door to that brewery is an aquaponics facility and a little restaurant, and they give a lot of their food away.
In a
And I
quarter
was like,
mile, merge onto I-75 North.
So I was like, all right, well, this is like pretty cool shit. This is like some badass stuff. Yeah, I can like get down with this. So I, are we all merging here into one? Yeah, I suppose so. So let me
Merge onto I-75 North, then take exit 111.
Exit 111? Okay, I'm not on here for a long time.
Take exit 111. Continue on I-64 East for 16 miles.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I started hearing about this. He also told me of another vertical hydroponics facility, and then some other people told me about a place called App Harvest. And App Harvest is supposed to be like a very heavily automated vertical new farm, like startup type thing that I don't like their business model at all. But I do want to go look at their farm and see their different techniques. So I started good things, and then I went to the Chevy Chase Inn, which ended up actually being just a wonderful bar. There's not many, sometimes in the United States, you just want a bar where people just drink beer and, you know, it's like an old day of a dive bar, and they had it. It was a great place. The first joke that was told to me by the 6'8" bartender was, where do little melons go? You know, maybe 50, maybe 60. Some of the people there were 70 or 80. One of the guys there had been going for about like 50 years or so. So I started chatting with some people. They're asking, where are you from? I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm trying to do some farm tours. I'm trying to learn about agriculture and stuff. And they were yeah, they bought the bar. They basically left it the way that it was, and the reason that I know they left it the way that it was Can anybody? Oh no! Come on! I have it. Work. I'm trying to let it catch up. Let's see if I can pull over and get the internet back. Sometimes you just have to slow down to get the internet back. I wonder if this is one of those times. Okay, we got the internet back. You all can hear me again? We got the internet back, maybe? I'm back. Okay, what part of the story did I cut at? And I don't know if it's gonna happen again. We'll see. Oh, you shit. What part of the story did it stop at? Wait a moment until somebody types like the last thing they heard, because this is such a good story. Or I can kind of just take it for, well, yeah, we'll see some. Welcome to Kentucky, by the way, everybody. Okay, talking to the people at the bar. All right, so it didn't cut out that much. Okay, so yeah, started like chatting with some people, and then I met a person named Kevin. So Kevin is owner of a restaurant next to the Chevy Chase Inn, and about 6 or 7 years ago, the bar was going through really, really tough times, and the bar was getting sold off, and somebody wanted to turn the bar into like a wine bar or like a hipster beer bar or something. So Kevin and 2 other business owners from the same street came together and said, no, like, this is our local bar. People have been coming here for 50 years. Like, we're not going to let that happen. So they formed a partnership, and they bought the bar. They didn't change anything about it. They kept it a bar. The bartenders are drinking behind it. They're having shots. They're drinking beers. Everybody's having a good time. You know, it's just like, it was a nice story of some people coming together to keep something the way that it is and not allow it to become, you know, just like another, you know, another fancy wine bar or so forth. So I kept talking to Kevin, and he asked me if I had like drank much bourbon yet, and I said no, you know, I hadn't. He brought down a man, it was like a 12-year, it was like a $20 glass of bourbon for me. Sipped on some bourbon with him, started talking a little while longer, you know, having some chats back and forth and so forth, and just overall, wow, that truck was dispersing a lot of wind. Just overall having a good time. Okay, car, yeah, I'm already going 73. You know, we don't need to be going 70-fucking-9 here. It's a 70. Let's chill. So after Kevin leaves, another guy comes over and he says to me, I just want you to know that that dude is one of the best motherfucking dudes in this entire city, and I want to tell you just a couple of reasons why, but if I told you every reason why, I would be here all fucking night. And he said when COVID happened and restaurant workers got laid off and they were struggling, anybody from the city who was a laid off restaurant worker could go into his restaurant and they could get a meal anytime they wanted to. And they were prepping extra meals every Wednesday to take down to the food banks. And, you know, they bought this bar and they saved this bar. And he was just going through the stories of what kind of like some of these people like were doing and like going out of their way and trying to help out. And then we were talking about like wages and so forth. And Kevin was on the side of like, yeah, I get why people aren't going to work doing $10 an hour working in a hot kitchen when $10 an hour ain't gonna buy you shit. And he just like a really wonderful people around this bar, really trying to help out. So he told me about what's this place called? Sorry. Food Chain. It's called Food Chain Lex. foodchainlex.org. They have an aquaponics facility They're giving away a ton of their food. They're really just like, they're awesome. So I drove over to the food chain this morning to go talk to them. Luckily, there were some people there. They're not allowing anybody to do public tours at the moment right now, but since I'm there in a press capacity, they're opening the place up for me on Monday. Wow, there's a big solar facility off to the right over there, everybody. Nice big solar arrays. So they are allowing me to do a video tour on Monday. I'm not going to be live streaming the video tour because I just want to make sure that I get it really good, high quality. But I am going to be doing a video tour of the aquaponics facility. It'll be going up onto YouTube Monday, and I might even try to get a hotel for myself Monday night so I can do some office work and some editing work and some studio work or so forth. So we'll be potentially considering that. So they told me about the farmers market downtown. That was just a couple miles, or you know, a mile and a half down the street. So I rolled over to the farmers market downtown. I got to interview mushroom farmers. I got to interview squash farmers. I got to interview no-till farmers. I got to interview bread bakers. I got to talk to more people. I met like really just incredible, kind-hearted, food-loving, people-loving Lexingtonians and Kentuckians. Got some tips on more farms to go check out, and just felt a lot of love from Lexington, Kentucky. So, my analysis of Lexington thus far in 72 hours is I like the place so much that I am thinking about maybe moving down here for like a 6-month stint at some point, and like really learning about the agricultural scene down here and like seeing what's going on. There are farmers here that are willing to experiment with new technologies. They're going to high tunnels. They're shifting away from tilling. They're not doing as much tobacco. They're bringing hemp back. They're rotating cattle. They're rotating chickens. They're doing grass-fed. And I know, you know, some people out there are going to be vegetarians and so forth. But they're trying to do some good stuff. Wow, it is windy as hell today. So yeah, my thoughts on Kentucky and Lexington are just, I like this place a lot, and I'm gonna be staying around here for a little while. I have to go to Indiana on Wednesday or Thursday to pick up some camera equipment at Tiberius_D's house. I still got to get out to Nebraska and go check out the greenhouse in the snow.
2 miles, take exit 98 for Bert T. Combs Mountain Parkway toward Campton.
However, if anybody gets a chance to roll through Lexington, go to the farmers market, talk to the farmers, meet the locals that are going to buy their produce there, and you're going to have a damn good time.